The story of Lonzo Ball might actually have a happy ending. He's finally back, and there are reasons to be very optimistic. Although DeRozan isn't a Bull anymore, and the franchise is looking to trade Zach LaVine due to his enormously large contract, Lonzo has more than enough incentive to play out of his mind this season, and it's not just being away from the game for so long. In the past, we've covered his brothers, his dad, so the Ball family has a special place in our hearts and in the history of this channel. Still, the most interesting story is one of Lonzo's long-awaited comeback, so make sure to check out our take of his chances for making an impact this year. Hello basketball fans and welcome to Hoop Vision. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Takes only a second, costs nothing, and will give you access to more basketball stories. It seems like it was yesterday, but it's been almost 9 years since we've started hearing about an amazing trio of Ball brothers and their mouthy father LeVar. Chino Hills were one of the most famous schools in the US, and all three of them were projected to have big careers in the NBA. One thing was guaranteed back in the day. If you followed sports on TV, there was no way you could turn it on without seeing LeVar talking like his life depended on it. However, it worked. Lonzo enrolled in the draft and the result they wanted was achieved. The biggest prospects of 2017 NBA draft were Markelle Fultz, De'Aaron Fox, Jason Tatum, and maybe we could slide in Donovan Mitchell somewhere in there. But without a doubt, the biggest star of that class was the number 2 pick selected by the Lakers. The narrative LeVar created was catching on. Lonzo was supposed to be the next big thing for Los Angeles, especially since they were trying to build for the future after Kobe's retirement. But there was a small issue. The Lakers already had a young point guard who showed signs of growing into their lead player. D'Angelo Russell was having some pretty good moments in his earliest days with the franchise, but the biggest problem with LA's front office is the lack of patience with their developing players. So, as soon as they realized D'Lo wasn't going to be the biggest superstar in the league, they moved on from him faster than a teenage girl moves on from a breakup. As soon as Lonzo was picked, they shipped D'Lo and Mozgov away to Brooklyn, cleaning up some salary cap space along the way. The draft pick they received in that trade turned out to be Kyle Kuzma, but if you look at it from a purely basketball perspective, it was a reckless move nonetheless. The main reason Lonzo was selected in the draft was his basketball IQ, and that still holds true now. However, Lonzo's work ethic was the one quality that was overlooked while he was being considered for the NBA draft, and regrettably, it wasn't until 2 years later that you would truly see it. As you probably remember, Lonzo Ball had the chance to play with LeBron James in his second season. In the summer of 2019, after the Los Angeles Lakers failed to qualify for the playoffs, Lonzo was traded to the New Orleans Pelicans in a blockbuster deal. This deal, which would send Anthony Davis to the Los Angeles Lakers, was viewed as a huge success for Lonzo Ball as well as the Lakers and Pelicans. After being put in a position where he had to win right away, Lonzo moved from playing with LeBron James, which was presumably his dream, to joining Zion Williamson and some of his most promising teammates on the Los Angeles Lakers. The most remarkable aspect of Lonzo's stint, or at least his first season with the Pelicans, was that he totally reinvented his jump shot. Ironically, this deal would age very badly for the New Orleans Pelicans. Still, Lonzo deserves so much respect for doing that. When Ben Simmons first joined the league, Sixers supporters had been pleading with him to do the same, but we all know he never bothered. Lonzo transformed from a person who was being made fun of for his quirky jump shot while playing for the Lakers to one of the NBA's top 3-point shooters. How did you improve your 3-point shooting percentage from 31% in your rookie season to 38% during your time with the New Orleans Pelicans? Lonzo averaged 14.6 points, 5.7 assists, 1.5 steals, and 38% 3-point shooting in his final season with the Pelicans. He was a total self-reinvention. He would have probably become like Ben Simmons if he hadn't done this, and the Chicago Bulls wouldn't have offered him the salary he wanted. Lonzo appeared to be in the right spot at the height of his career when he agreed to a 4-year, $85 million deal with the Chicago Bulls. With the addition of DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, and the recently acquired Lonzo Ball, the Chicago Bulls stunned everyone. With Lonzo, the Bulls jumped out to a 22-3 record, but he would injure his knee again, a problem that has plagued him all of his career because of the strain he placed on it during his high school basketball training. Yes, the ZO2, Lonzo Ball's iconic shoe, was undoubtedly a contributing factor in his many injuries. The player's debut season with the Lakers ended with an MCL sprain to his left knee. On July 17, 2018, he underwent arthroscopic surgery to repair a torn meniscus. Prior to All-Star Weekend in late February of his sophomore season with the Lakers, he suffered a grade 3 left ankle injury that included a torn ligament. Despite the fact that Lonzo would need surgery once more, the Lakers talked him out of it, which was a terrible decision because he would still need to be out for the remainder of the season in March. He wasn't quite healthy though, even when he was playing for the Pelicans. Lonzo's durability was questioned at this stage of his career, and naturally, his worst dread would come true. Lonzo Ball tore his meniscus against the Golden State Warriors on January 14, 2022. After undergoing surgery, he was expected to rehabilitate for 6 to 8 weeks before rejoining the Bulls. The Bulls, on the other hand, were obviously different without Lonzo and truly missed his skills as a fantastic 3-and-D player and two-way point guard. Lonzo would eventually be shut down, although he would try to return in the 2022 season. On September 28, 2022, he had an arthroscopic procedure, but he was still unable to run, jump, or cut 9 weeks following his second knee operation. LeVar Ball was attempting to reassure everyone by stating that Lonzo was alright and that at just 25, he would pick up where he left and be prepared to play. However, Lonzo's condition deteriorated to the point that he really required a cartilage transplant in March 2023 for his left knee. After missing 2 straight seasons, he finally returned in the preseason, and it appeared he wouldn't miss a beat. In a victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves, he made a wide-open 3 in the first quarter and scored 10 points on 4 of 6 shots. This is what he had to say playing his first game in over 1,000 days. To be honest, it was just a blessing. I mean, that number sounds so crazy. Even when I read it, I was like, man, 1,000 days. It actually went by a lot faster than it sounded. The journey has been amazing. It's been a long one, but a lot of people have been with me, supporting me, and it all came together last night. The Chicago Bulls are obviously a different team now, and to be honest, it's kind of a bummer because DeMar DeRozan has previously stated that he would have loved to return to the way things were when Lonzo was healthy. However, it's obvious that he couldn't wait for that to happen, especially with the Sacramento Kings offer on the table. With Lonzo, the Chicago Bulls are in a very unusual and special set of circumstances. Although their roster makes it obvious that they have assets to trade, it wouldn't surprise anybody if this team managed to pull together and contend for a play-in berth or perhaps even a 7th or 6th seed. Since the Boston Celtics, New York Knicks, and Milwaukee Bucks are all fierce competitors at the top of the East, even if the 76ers made some significant additions as well, Lonzo is really the deciding factor in this. In addition to them are the Cleveland Cavaliers, Indiana Pacers, and Orlando Magic. Based on Lonzo's performance, no one would be surprised if the Bulls managed to sneak in someplace. In addition to having Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, this team was fortunate to choose Patrick Williams, who did underperform a bit, but is still a young player worth for a potential trade. The Bulls have an insane number of guards, including Chris Duarte, who is somewhere toward the end of the bench, Josh Giddey, Lonzo Ball, Ayo Dosunmu, Kobe White, and Zach LaVine, who they are really playing at the 3 this season. There are far too many guards on this team, and it's possible that the Bulls are attempting to increase the worth of each of their guards in order to eventually move them. The most intriguing aspect of this is that Lonzo Ball is in the last year of his deal, earning $22 million this year due to his decision to opt out, and he will be entering free agency at the end of the year. Considering that he is only receiving $22 million this season, he may be a very desirable trade chip at the trade decline. It may be nostalgia talking, but it would be really nice to see him rejoin the Lakers. In reality though, Lonzo is the kind of player who could be a productive player on any NBA franchise. He is a fantastic three-point shooter, a fantastic passer, and one of the league's top point guard defenders. He adds value to every team in the league, so whoever snatches him will make the right decision to do so. He has grown to be one of the NBA's most liked players despite his dad, and because all the hardships he had, everyone's glad to see him return. If he can maintain his health for the time being, it'll be exciting to watch him play competitive basketball once again. That's it for today, Hoop Fam. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments how far Lonzo can go this season. Thank you for watching and growing this channel. Make sure you don't miss out on more NBA stories by hitting that subscribe button. See you in the next one.